How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Lovely to finally meet.
Yes, and the same to you. I'm glad that we could sort this out.
Been a while. Sorry about
That's all
that. All
right.
my
It's fine. Everyone's busy nowadays with
well, busy. Very, very loose term, isn't it?
well, yeah, I suppose. So I wanted to have a chat with you about corporate sports and wellness, as I mentioned. So I've
Yeah.
got a few questions here, if I can just sort of go straight into those, kind of
Yeah,
about
no problem.
you and like what your thoughts are on the whole topic. Okay, so just first of all, what sort of drove corporate sports to be founded in the first place?
So originally, we actually just started this off as a hobby, essentially, because our CEO, one of our investors, he has a large aviation company,
Yeah.
and he is a very well, he has an absolute passion for sport, and he loved doing it outside of the office, and he had absolutely no employee wellbeing program within his company, and his company has thousands of employees around the world. So we kind of just approached him to organize an inter-company tournament, a sports tournament, and it was a basketball tournament at the time. And he loved the idea, so we did it. And then from there, it kind of just stemmed further and further, using the power of sport to keep employees engaged. And then obviously that developed even further to then implementing employee wellbeing programs. And obviously strategy is a huge aspect of which we cover as well for companies, all based around employee wellbeing. So yeah, it all kind of stemmed from that, really, from that little tournament that we did, and then we just grew further and further.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, aside from the physical advantages, obviously, of taking part in sport, which we all know, what do you think of the other advantages of like corporate sports, particularly for corporate people?
Yeah, so obviously the easiest thing to implement in terms of a wellbeing program is a physical side of things.
Yeah,
And many years ago, if anyone ever mentions a corporate wellbeing program, the first thing anyone thinks about is, okay, cool, yeah, it's fitness. Is actual the physical side of things. When what we try to do is educate a lot of HR professionals and a lot of decision makers that you need to consider all aspects of well-being. Fitness is just one tiny aspect, which some people don't even want to do through their office. Me personally, I don't like to do it. I want to take care of my own fitness, but there's other elements which, yes, I think that workplace should massively consider and take care of. Now, obviously, with everything going on, mental well-being is a huge aspect, and in recent years, it's really been a driving factor of employee well-being programs. But then there's loads of other aspects as well to consider. Some people mentally are doing fine; they're doing okay. Everyone has mental health. Some people are coping a lot better than others, but there's financial, there's social, there's loads of different aspects that a good program will take into consideration.
yeah. A lot of aside from the sports, there's like a lot of educating in terms of mindfulness as well. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
so sporting activities, obviously, they're useful in promoting wellness and well-being. That's why it's like the most popular kind of thing, like you said, first thing people think of. So,
Mm.
in terms of like doing sports, how do you think that it helps with somebody's well-being, like, mentally?
Well, mentally, obviously, you feel a bit better. The other benefit, from a work point of view, is it's a massive catalyst to kind of breaking down those hierarchy barriers within a huge
Yeah,
company. For example, I mean, one tournament that we recently just had, being in the UAE, sometimes to blend all these different categories and hierarchy of employees is very difficult.
hmm.
But in one tournament we had, it was a cricket tournament. We had a CEO bowling to an office coffee boy,
Yeah,
and the office coffee boy whacked the ball for a six, and everyone was going nuts and it was crazy. So it's a really, really good benefit of breaking those barriers.
hmm.
And then obviously aside from that, it's a great way to kind of keep everyone completely fresh
Yeah,
and obviously looking after their mental state and mindfulness. We find that sport is really good as a good method of kind of approaching everyone's mindfulness in every single aspect of their life. Because
yeah,
when you're doing the sport itself, me especially, like I've recently taken up golf. I'm not very good, but when you play golf, you focus on golf, and
yeah,
everything else kind of just gets put behind you, and you kind of just get a nice click refresh button, and you can go from there. But I mean, apart from that, obviously, it adds a bit of structure to your day. I find as well.
yeah,
Now, this is more away from sport, but maybe personal fitness. Everyone loves to start their well. A lot of people like to start their day by getting up and going to the gym,
hmm.
meditating, doing a bit of yoga, and it's just a great way to actually get cracking on your day. It's the first
Yeah.
achievement of the day. Once you've got that achievement out of the way, then you can actually continue further and further and finish the rest of the day.
Hmm. I think
Yeah,
like sports is just such a unifying thing, and it just creates this kind of equal playing field for everybody, which is really
absolutely.
good, like you said, for companies with like different, with like a hierarchy structure. So it does
Yeah,
dismantle.
it's a great engagement tool, and sport is just, I mean, one tiny aspect of trying to
Yeah,
engage employees. But everyone loves sport, and sport is a huge tool in everyone's arsenal to engage employees and keep everyone motivated and keep moving forward.
yeah,
The biggest event that we actually run is the Corporate Sports Championship, and it's the largest B2B corporate tournament in the Middle East now. And it's basically just a huge collection of companies representing in over 23 different sports, and they compete over a long weekend.
yeah,
And then at the end of it, there's one champion, and the champion is, well, every company that participates is after it massively,
yeah,
which is great. Yeah, competition is big, but I mean, yes, competition is great between the bigger companies, like the big consultancy companies. Obviously, that are global. There's a huge competition between them, but even the smaller ones. For a small financial firm to go out and try beat PwC on the playing field is massive.
yeah.
Yeah, they love that
Quite exciting to be able to do.
massively.
And why do you think corporate wellness and well-being is so vital with the current, climate with COVID and people being incredibly stressed and work being uncertain and things like that?
Yeah. Well, for me, in my opinion, the best thing a company can do is putting the employees' health and well-being as an actual top strategic priority.
Yeah,
Everyone has business priorities. Everyone has projections in terms of financial and business performance. But every company should really look to implement projections and well-being in their health and well-being. So corporate wellness is not new. It's been around forever on some level. It has taken a big leap in recent years, and everyone is kind of investing a bit more money, and companies are stepping away from just having a tick the box initiative, and that they really are trying to get a good return of investment. But for me, in like 4 or 5 years ago, the reason why companies invested in wellbeing programs was for the wrong reasons. It was for return of investment for themselves, to increase production, increase employee literally absenteeism and healthcare premiums and everything.
yeah,
Those days are gone. Really, they have gone. It's all about looking after the employees and building the culture of well-being. It's sometimes called the Google effect as well. The Google offices, they're amazing. They have nap pods. They literally take into consideration every aspect of an employee's well-being.
yeah,
And to do that, to give your employees the satisfaction of that the company is actually looking after you, not just what you can do, it's something really, really beneficial. And
yeah,
if an employee feels that, they will stay with the company for longer. Retention rates will be amazing. Hiring a new employee for large companies is way more expensive than just keeping the ones you have, keeping them happy,
yeah,
making sure they love the job and love the environment. So yeah, summarize, culture, well-being culture is the best thing to do for a company these
yeah.
days. Yeah,
I think it's good because it shows a really good level of respect for your employees, and that
absolutely.
will
Yeah.
definitely keep them invested.
Yeah.
Um, so I was also wondering how has, if it has, how COVID has affected the services you provide and the work that you do.
So, to be honest, very openly, it massively affected us. We had the championship I was mentioning earlier. We
Yeah,
were right in the middle of that when it kind of really hit the UAE. So we had the Dubai tour, the massive cycling race that was going on as well. That got shut down on Saturday the 29th. The dates are in my mind because it was our event day. So we started our tournament on the 28th, and on the 29th, that's when everything was shut down. So we had to cancel our event. We had to let everyone know, like literally, please don't turn up. Everyone stay at home. So on that aspect, yes, it hugely affected us. After that, though, it really kind of just pushed us to bring services forward that we were going to do. In the UAE, summer is it's a dead zone really for business. One, the temperature is ridiculous. Schools are out, so a lot of expats go back home. They go back to the UK and see their family again. So the summer is kind of the downtime for us. So we were going to use that opportunity to turn all of our services virtual, and obviously being pushed forward by 3 months kind of just gave us that time and opportunity to do that. So we transformed very quickly, and I like to think we reacted very well to the situation.
yeah,
And we turned all of our wellbeing programs virtual. So we had a huge host of stuff available online. It was all done via the website, but all of our clients could actually just log in and have the access to their entire wellbeing program there, and it was all ready for them to go. So, and then obviously for that as well, we kind of brought forward some other services as well, wellbeing seminars, all online, all virtual, and then we actually jumped into esports as well as a good engagement tool to get a lot of employees, but also crossover between companies. We wanted to still keep that competition alive. So esports was a big one for us as well. I'm not a big esports fan. I have a PlayStation, but it's the wife's. It's not mine. But we did it, and we had a great response to it. Yeah, we actually ran a wonderful event for Dubai Police. They have a huge initiative called Positive Soul, and it's all about improving the way of life for the actual community. So not essentially just the employees of the Dubai Police, but it was for the entire UAE community, looking after their well-being. And we ran a big FIFA 20 tournament for them, and it was very well received, and it was great. Yeah, very different from us. Yeah.
I would say that I think a weird kind of silver lining with the whole pandemic is a lot of companies, they've really embraced the online platform, and they've been able to engage people in really new ways that are a bit more, like modern. Like you say with esports, that's definitely risen because a lot of people they're just stuck at home, and it's a really good way to engage with people. Do you think corporate well-being should become an integral part of every company's focus?
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely should. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think every company, no matter what size you are, if you have 2 employees all the way up to 10,000 employees, I think your employees' well-being should be a massive top strategic priority for you moving forward. And I think the way companies have been approaching it and still are approaching it now is very wrong. They kind of just take it on a quarterly basis, yearly basis. They need to align a 5-year strategy, 10-year strategy, and bring in professionals to do it. Don't try to chuck it to HR, which has happened. They just throw a vision to HR and say, make this happen. HR professionals, they're not really trained in this. They are becoming now, but just hire someone who knows what they're doing. In London especially, there's loads of companies that offer what we offer here, and they're brilliant. They really are good. So definitely, yes.
I think as well, like some companies are reluctant to sort of engage in these programs because there's this idea that it's so expensive and you have to go on these really ridiculous excursions with your employees, like climbing mountains and all that stuff. When actually it can be quite simple as like doing sports days and taking part in webinars, just things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Price should not really be a factor, but obviously look at the budget of what you have and allocate something towards it and try to do it within it. I mean, for us, especially here, we cater to any and all budgets. If you want to go do a huge excursion as part of your program, then yes, great, do that. But for the companies that only do that, you don't cater to everyone. Everyone's completely different. Everyone has their own individual problems. If you do one big activity outside of the office, that's great. You'll probably just reach about 5% of everyone. You want to really try and engage 100% of your employees throughout the entire year. It can be difficult, but it's a learning and growing process. And for large companies to get everyone engaged in a program, it's possible. Definitely is. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking to me today. It was really interesting, and I appreciate
no
the time.
Problem. Let me know.
Okay, well, thank you again, and good luck with the rest of your day, I guess.
No worries. Good luck, eh? I like what you guys are doing. It's very cool.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Anytime. Cheers, eh? Thanks.
Bye.